I'm Allison from Learning at the Primary Pond. I'm a literacy specialist, and in this video, I'm going to share with you some effective but also super fun phonological awareness activities, and these are things that the kids can actually do on their own, like for centers or independent work. Before we dive in, make sure that you're subscribed to my channel and make sure that you've hit the little bell so that you're notified every time I post a brand new video about teaching literacy in K2. Okay, so these, as I said, are going to be phonological awareness activities. Phonological awareness, as you may already know, refers to the sounds in words. So when we're practicing phonological awareness with kids, we're using words spoken aloud. We may be using pictures, as you're going to see in some of these activities, but there's actually no letters involved. When we put letters in there, that becomes phonics. So phonological awareness would include skills like rhyming, being able to clap the syllables in a word, being able to identify the first sound in a word, last sound in a word, being able to blend sounds together, segment, all of those skills, and there's more than that. Those are just some examples. So that is what we're going to be practicing in all of these activities. Quick question for you to answer in the comments. How long are you able to spend each day on phonological awareness in your classroom? Now, ideally, especially in kindergarten and first grade, phonological awareness should be worked on in a whole group setting, in a small group setting, and then even practiced individually or practiced independently rather, which is exactly what these activities are going to help with. Now, in second grade and up, especially with struggling readers, the amount of phonological awareness practice that your kids will need will really vary, but K1 definitely want to spend like 10 to 15 minutes a day. Okay, so let's go ahead and get into these activities. They're for different skills, and all of these resources come from my Phonological Awareness Centers bundle that I have on Teachers Pay Teachers, but the ideas are really flexible, and you can create your own or kind of adapt them if you don't have these centers. All right, so activity number 1 is rhyming clip cards. Now, these are pretty simple. Hopefully you can see this. I'll hold it up to the camera. You're gonna have like a big picture like shoe, and then you've got 3 smaller pictures, and the kids are supposed to say the name of the big picture out loud, shoe, and then they say crab, glue, frog. So they're ideally supposed to name all of the pictures out loud, and sometimes it can help if they work with a partner. But so then what they would do is they would take a little clothespin and they would clip the glue because shoe and glue rhyme. Okay, so very simple. They could also just place a counter on it if you don't have clothespins or don't want them to use clothespins. And you can adapt this game to work with many skills. Could be first sound, ending sound. That Phonological Awareness Centers bundle that I have actually uses clip cards with multiple skills. All right, next up we have 2 and 3 syllable segmenting eggs. So it's kind of hard to see if you're not looking at it on the table, but you can see here that we have a stack of pancakes. And so kids would use this to practice saying the syllables and then putting them back together. So blending and segmenting syllables. So for pancakes, they would say pan, and then they would slide on the table cakes, or rather pancakes. I might have done that backwards. And they'd say pancakes. Then we have, this will probably be too hard to hold up, but we have like lemonade. So they would say lemonade, and they'd be putting them together, right? Lemonade. So they segment the word and then they put the syllables back together. So syllable blending and segmenting, they're basically just little puzzles. So the kids are not only, you would give them the pieces mixed up and then they're putting them together and working on their syllables. You would also even have them do kind of a sort where like lemonade had 3 syllables and pancakes had 2 syllables. And so you'd have more of them, and the kids could put the eggs with 2 syllables here and the eggs with 3 syllables over there. So that is great for practicing syllables. Now let's move on to a really simple game, memory. And you can play this with so many different skills, but the set that I have here is for matching initial sounds. So kids would just, play like they would play memory. Cards go on the table. If you're ever printing things off, by the way, and you feel like the kids can see through to the other side, just take a crayon or a colored pencil and have them kind of like shade, or you can do it yourself. But the kids are having the cards, set out in rows on the table, and then they turn over 2 cards, and if they happen, they must say the names of the pictures. That's important. So they say, in this example, cat, car, and if they start with the same sound, which they should also say, then they get to keep the match. And if they pull something like fan and cat, they still have to say them out loud. Ideally, they would say the first sound, f and k, and then they would put them back. So just a normal memory game, but they are matching initial sounds. And again, this is really flexible, just like the other games. So you could make it be middle sounds or ending sounds or number of syllables. Maybe they match, they clap the syllables and they match the number of syllables. So with memory, it's simple, but kids enjoy it and the possibilities are endless. Okay, another fun game is Kaboom. This sometimes has different names and you can, again, play it with many different skills, but what you need for this is you need picture cards, and sometimes I'll just actually fold the cards in half and I'll put them into some sort of jar, container, or bag that the kids can't see into. And so they would play in a small group, and the first player would pick a card, and if it's a picture card, they say the name of the picture, like this is thermometer. And then in this version of the game, the kids are actually working on initial digraph sounds. So they would say thermometer, and then they keep the card. Okay, so then another student takes their turn and they might pull whistle, whoa, right? And they keep that. But then if somebody pulls a Kaboom card, then that person has to put all of the picture cards that they've collected back into the bag, the box, wherever you have them pulling it from. So this means that the game actually never ends until time is up, because the kids will inevitably always pull a Kaboom card because there are the Kaboom cards in there. And so they're continuing to practice, and it's just a lot of fun because they're nervous with anticipation about pulling a Kaboom card. And you can also have them see oh, what's the greatest number of picture cards I can collect before I pull a Kaboom card and have to put everything back. All right, our last activity that I'm going to show you, again, this is very adaptable. You can do it with different skills, but this one is popcorn say and sort for long vowels. So here we have, now I actually have these for all of the long vowel sounds in that Phonological Awareness Centers pack that I have on Teachers Pay Teachers, but I just pulled 2 to show you. So here we have sheep, has the same long vowel sound as sheep, and here we have, it has the same long vowel sound as cake, so A and E. And you could do all of the long vowels if you wanted to, or you could just focus on 2 or 3 at a time. But the kids have these little popcorn kernel pictures, right? Because this is a popcorn tub. So if it's train, so they pick up the card, they say train, and then they say A because they're listening for the vowel sound, and then they put it on this one because train has the same long vowel sound as the word cake. But then if they pick up this picture that says eat, eat has the same vowel sound as sheep, so they match it here. So they're just putting popcorn on their little tub mats until all of the cards are gone. And this is something where the kids can do it on their own for sure, but it's also nice to have them work with a partner because the partner can provide corrective feedback. Maybe they don't know, they don't know what the picture should be, or they're not sure what the vowel sound is, then a partner can help. So all of these activities are super engaging, adaptable to any skill. And if you want all of these materials done for you, and many, many more. I actually have over 120 different center activities for practicing phonological awareness skills in that Teachers Pay Teachers pack that I was telling you about. So everything you see here and so much more. And the nice thing about this pack is that I have it organized where it's by skill. So it's syllable segmenting, rhyming, matching long vowel sounds, glued sounds, diphthongs, so it gets a little bit more challenging. It's really appropriate for kindergarten through 2nd grade, but the nice thing is that you can use that table of contents to pick oh, well, these kids are working on this skill, but these kids are working on that skill, and then you just print the pages or the resources that you need, and whether it's in small group or things that the kids are doing independently, because these all work really well as independent centers, then you can give the kids practice in exactly the skills that they need to work on. So it's super easy to differentiate that way. All right, so I will leave the link for that Phonological Awareness Centers pack for K2. Again, that's in my Teachers Pay Teachers store. I'll leave the link for that with this video. And of course, let me know if you have any questions. Thanks so much for watching. I hope these ideas were helpful. Don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe, and I will see you in the next video.